to Inside Ambition. I'm your host, Alexandra George, and today on COVID Stories, we're bringing back Majo Garcia. She's now a second-year student at Drexel, and she was on our show for our very first COVID Story segment, and she's back to give us an update. Hi, Majo, how are you?
Hi, Alex. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, if people just watched our original interview, they would know you. But for those who haven't seen it, do you want to sum up why you were on our show and what your COVID story was about 5 or 6 months ago?
For our first episode, you, Alex, interviewed me, and basically, I'm an international student from Honduras, and 5 months or so ago, when campus closed, I just didn't know what to do. My roommate was kind enough to tell me, hey, you can stay with me in the meantime, and after that, I went to my aunt's in Texas. But it was really a struggle of what I had to do to balance coursework, academics, my involvement on campus, and also what do I do? Do I go home? Do I stay in the United States? And basically the entire interview was speaking about the struggles, not only international students, but the freshman population had suffered when campus closed. And just the message of having hope and trying to move forward.
Yeah, and for those people who watched the interview, not only has my location changed, but yours has as well. So why don't you tell our audience the very exciting news and why you're back on our show for a second time?
So everyone, I'm back in Honduras.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm back home. I finally with my family. So it was a journey, to say the least, but I was very lucky to be one of the few ones who could manage to go back to the place of origin.
Oh, yeah. And you were really positive. I hope that you retained that positivity 5 months later, but when you were on our show, you were really positive, and it was wonderful to see the hope that you had to make it home, and that hope paid off. So why don't you walk us through your journey back home? How were you able to finally find a flight to make it back?
Oh my gosh, I think we could make a movie out of it. So last time we spoke, it was the beginning of my journey trying to figure out where did I want to go, where could I go, and if home was even an option. The borders were closed. Honduran government had their borders closed, airports were closed. So every flight you got to get back into Honduras were humanitarian flights. That means that the Honduran government and the American government scheduled those flights. So you couldn't go and just catch a commercial flight. They were either every 2 weeks, there was a set date and time, there was a certain protocol you had to follow. So about 3 or 4 times my flights were canceled either the day before or the same day. So safe to say, I had my bags packed at the side of my bed, just ready to go, whether I had a call or something, and I was just ready. So imagine just having midterms, having to work and just being sure that everything was on the bags, calling family, because you couldn't circulate in the city without a permission. So my parents, every time I was supposed to get back home, they had to get a permission to go pick me out of the airport.
Oh my
So
gosh.
every time it got canceled. And about the 4th time, I took a layover, a connecting plane from Dallas to Houston. And I was like, yes, I am doing this. And spoiler alert, the flight was canceled. I was in the plane, ready to go, and it was canceled. And to be honest, I think that was the most defeating part of it all. And I remember I just sat down in the airport with no one around. It was very movie-like, and just started crying.
Oh.
And I remember this one lady, I think she was from the Dominican Republic, and she was driving one of those cars that you see on on the movies. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" And she just spoke to me, and she was like, "What's wrong? And you gotta have hope, and don't worry about it."
Aww.
And I think that was the moment when I realized that even with everything that was going on, there was still some kindness and love and just very good vibes from a lot of people. So after that, I literally just said, it is not my time yet. I decided to stay in the United States and just finish my coursework, finish my finals, and then figure out if going back to Honduras was an option. So fast forward, that was like around June. Fast forward, it was around August, and we were supposed to have a hybrid model and ready to go back to campus. And about a couple weeks later, guess what? Remote learning.
Yeah, we're online.
So, even though it was like disappointing at first because obviously all of us wanted to return to campus, it was a decision that was made to safeguard all of our well-being, not only about students but faculty, staff, and the community surrounding us. So that's about when I started thinking, what if? And that was around like a Friday, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy the plane ticket, and I'm going to go back home. The airports are open in Honduras like a couple of days before they were open, so I was like, I am going home. No, it doesn't work that way. After that, there's a lot of requirements that you need to go through. You need to get COVID tested so you can enter the country and be safe for everyone that surrounds you. So that was also a crossroads that I was at when I spoke to my family. I was like, is this something I want to do? Like, I felt so bad. And then I realized there are actually testing for people that need to travel because it seems like I'm not the only one in the same position. So I went to like 3 or 4 clinics, and to be honest, it was people that were willing to go the extra mile and work harder and figure out how they could help me because it got done. Like, if I was on my own, like, it wouldn't have happened. So after I got my test done, I got my plane ticket, and it was a mess getting my plane ticket with the airlines, and that's like another longer story. But after that was done, I was finally ready to go. I went to the airport like a Wednesday morning, and I was like, yes, this is happening. And then I went to the counter, and guess what?
What?
There was no passenger with my name on either plane. I just didn't know what was going on. I had paid my bags, paid my ticket and everything, and simply there was no passenger with my name on it. So that's what I keep saying. People and kindness and love really got me where I'm at today, because the lady on the counter, I think she saw my desperation on my face, and she was like, I am going to help you. Don't worry. And after about 30, 40 minutes, she managed to find my tickets, and I was able to get a plane. And when I was in my connecting flight, I was like, yes, I am going home. I'm almost there. And my plane got delayed. And my bag, they couldn't find my carry-on either. And I had 20 minutes to get to my other gate. And I just thought I wouldn't be able to make it.
Yeah.
It was 20 minutes, and the Houston airport is ginormous. I hadn't been there before. And I know that international travel is very strict on their schedule because it is international travel. So just to make the story even, I think, funnier, the captain, like the pilot from the plane I was coming in from Dallas to Houston, and the pilot from another flight, and the gate person, they all went to look for my bag, and they called the other gate to wait for me.
Aww. And
that was the only way how I managed to catch my other flight. And when I got to Honduras, that feeling of finally going home, I just started crying for people not to see me. And I think it just hits with the reality we live now and the quote-unquote new normal. I think that's why at the beginning you said, oh, you were so positive. It was hard. It was hard. It was painful. It was sad. But to be honest, those little blessings, those little things that make you say, oh, but I have this, or I'm good, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I have family, I have anything, that really just helps you keep that positive mindset.
Yeah, wow, what a crazy story. I mean, obviously we know that you're in Honduras now, but I was on the edge of my seat there. I was like, wait, does she make it home? Oh my gosh, it's like you hit every obstacle in the road, but like you said, people were willing to help and there was a lot of kindness that helped to guide you. So obviously you're in Honduras now, you're home, and Drexel's virtual for the entire fall quarter. What are your plans moving forward? Are you moving back here no matter what in 3 months? Are you going to wait and see if Drexel stays virtual? What's the plan?
So as of now, I think I'm just going to wait for what Drexel has in store for us. It's a situation that keeps changing, and even if we make decisions right now, those decisions might not hold in the next couple of weeks. So I'm trying to take it step by step, trying to get through my first half of my quarter, and then try to figure out if there is a plan for returning to campus. And depending on what those plans are, I will either decide to return to campus or stay here.
And how is it being home?
Oh my gosh, Alex, you have no idea. I think, I literally have no words. Like, my heart just like twists and just like in happiness, just because I was able to get my mom food, and I was able to sleep in my own bed. I was able to see my sister. I was able to see my family, people that I haven't seen since January when I came here. And I know that 9 months seems for some a long time, and for others not a very long time. But just knowing that your family's safe and sound, like during a pandemic, it was something that I always had in mind. Mm-hmm. So they had power outages, and they had like water every 2 weeks, and the pandemic was going on, and my grandma's here, and just having them on my thoughts every single second to make sure that was okay. Ooh, it just like took a toll on me. But being home, oh my god, like we were talking about it. Sometimes the power goes off or the Wi-Fi is not really the best, but I would trade all the commodities I have to be with them.
Aww. Well, I'm really glad that you were able to make it home. I feel bad that it took so long. I remember when we first did the interview, I was like, oh, maybe we'll talk again in 2 weeks and you'll be home. And it took months. But I'm so happy for you that you were able to make it home. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to share the second part of your COVID story.
Thank you so much, Alex. And to be honest, if there's something that I want people to take out of my story, just to have hope, to take care of yourself and to take care of those around you. I know the situation is challenging, and like I said before, I think I have been one of those few that have been privileged enough to have second chances. I had a second chance to go back home. I had a support. I had a lot of things I know a lot of people are struggling with. So be kind, be safe, and stay positive. I'll leave you with that.
Wise words. Well, thanks again. It was great to see you, and good luck with everything being home.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Of course. If you guys want to check out our first ever COVID story with Majo, you can check it out on our channel. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. And to stay up to date with all of our content, make sure to follow us on Instagram @inside_ambition. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.